First Corinthians 11 to 13. Be imitators of me, just as I also am of Messiah. Now I praise you, brothers, that you remember me in all things and hold firm the traditions, just as I delivered them to you. But I would not have you know that the head of every man is Messiah, and the head of every woman is man, and the head of Messiah is God. Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonors his head. But every woman praying or prophesying with her head uncovered dishonors her head. For it is one of the same thing as if she were shaved. For if a woman is not covered, let her hair also be cut off. But if it is a shameful for a woman to have her hair cut off or be shaved, let her be covered. For if a man indeed ought not to have his head covered, because he is in the image and glory of God, but the woman is the glory of man. For man is not from woman, but woman from man. For man was not created for the woman, but woman for the man. For this cause the woman ought to have authority. For this cause the woman ought to have authority over her own head, because of the angels. Nevertheless, in the Lord, neither is woman independent of man, nor is man independent of woman. For as woman came from man, so a man also comes through a woman. But all things are from God. Judge for yourselves. Is it appropriate that a woman pray to God unveiled? Does not even nature itself teach you that if a man has long hair, it is dishonor to him? But if a woman has long hair, it is a glory to her. For her hair is given to her for a covering. But if any man seems to be contentious, we have no such custom, neither to God's assemblies. But in giving you this command, I do not praise you, that you come together not for the better, but for the worse. For first of all, when you come together in the assembly, I hear that divisions exist among you, and I partly believe it. But there also must be factions among you, that those who are approved may be revealed among you. When therefore you assemble yourselves together, it is not the Lord's supper that you eat, for in your eating each one takes his own supper first, and one is hungry, and another is drunk. What? Do you not have houses to eat and drink in? Or do you despise God's assembly and put them to shame who do not have enough? What shall I tell you? Shall I praise you? In this I do not praise you, for I have received from the Lord that which also I delivered to you, that the Lord Yeshua, on the night in which he was betrayed, took matzah, and when he had given thanks, he broke it and said, "Take, eat. This is my body, which is broken for you. Do this in remembrance of me." In the same way, he also took the cup after supper, saying, "This cup is the new covenant in my blood. Do this as often as you drink in remembrance of me. For as often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, you proclaim the Lord's death until he comes. Therefore, whoever eats this bread or drinks the Lord's cup in a way unworthy of the Lord will be guilty of the body and the blood of the Lord. But let a man examine himself, so let him eat of the bread and drink of the cup. For he who eats and drinks in an unworthy way eats and drinks judgment to himself, if he does not discern the Lord's body. For this cause many among you are weak and sick, and many sleep. But if we discerned ourselves truly, we would not be judged. But when we are judged, we are punished by the Lord, that we may not be condemned with the world. So then, my brothers, when you come together to eat, wait for one another. But if anyone is hungry, let him eat at home, lest your coming together be for judgment. The rest I will set in order whenever I come. Now concerning spiritual things, brothers, I do not want you to be ignorant. You know that when you were Gentiles, you were led away to those mute idols, however you were led. Therefore, I make known to you that no man speaking by the Ruach Elohim says, Yeshua is accursed, and no one can say, Yeshua is Lord, except in the Ruach HaKodesh. Now there are various kinds of gifts, but the same Ruach. And there are various kinds of service, and the same Lord. And there are various kinds of workings, but the same God, who works all things in all. But to each one is given the manifestation of the Ruach for profit of all. For to one is given through the Ruach the word of wisdom, and to another the word of knowledge, according to the same Ruach, to another faith, by the same Ruach, to another gifts of healing, by the same Ruach, and to another working of miracles, and to another prophecy, and to another discerning of spirits, to another different kinds of tongues, and to another interpretation of languages. But the one and same Ruach produces all these, distributing to each one separately as he desires. For as the body is one and has many members, and all the members of the body being many are one body, so also is Messiah. For in one Ruach we are all immersed into one body, whether Jews or Greeks, whether bond or free, and we're all given to drink into one Ruach. For the body is not one member, but many. If the foot would say, because I am not the head, I am not part of the body, is that not therefore not part of the body? And if the ear would say, because I am not the eye, I am not part of the body, is it not therefore not part of the body? If the whole body were an eye, where would the hearing be? If the whole were hearing, where would the smelling be? But now God has set the members, each one of them, in the body, just as he desired. And if they were all one member, where would the body be? But now they are many members, but one body. The eye cannot tell the hand, I have no need of you, or again the head to the feet, I have no need of you. No, much rather, these members of the body which seem to be weaker are necessary, and those parts of the body which seem to be less honorable, on those to bestow more abundant honor. And our unpresentable parts have more abundant property, whereas our presentable parts have no such need. But God composed the body together, giving more abundant honor to the inferior part, that there should be no division in the body, but that the members should have the same care for one another. When one member suffers, all the members suffer with it. When one member is honored, all the members rejoice with it. Now you are the body of Messiah, and members individually, and God has set some in the assembly. First, emissaries. Second, prophets. Third, teachers. Then miracle workers. Then gifts of healing, helps, governments, various kinds of tongues. All are emissaries. Are all prophets? Are all teachers? Are all miracle workers? Do all have gifts of healing? Do all speak with tongues? Do all inherit? But earnestly desire the best gifts. Moreover, I show the most excellent way to you. If I speak with tongues of men and of angels, but do not have love, I have become sounding brass or a clanging cymbal. And if I have the gift of prophecy and know all mysteries of knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give away all my goods to feed the poor, and if I give my body to the burn, but I do not have love, it profits me nothing. Love is patient. It is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not boast, is not proud, does not behave itself inappropriately, does not seek its own way, is not provoked, takes no account of evil, does not rejoice in unrighteousness, but rejoices in the truth, bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will be done away with. Where there are tongues, they will cease. Where there is knowledge, it'll be done away with. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part, but when that which is complete has come, then that which is partial will be done away with. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I felt as a child. I thought as a child. Now that I have become a man, I have put childish things away. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then I know fully, even as I know also fully known. But now faith, hope, and love remain. These three, but the greatest of these is love.